Hello, good and beautiful people. I hope you're good from whatever part of the world that you're watching the Kenyan Daily Report TV from. And as of today, the topic that has become a matter of discussion on every social media platform and on every media house in the country is in regards to the sentiments and the revelation that was made public yesterday by the current Cabinet Secretary of Public Service and the former Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya. The former Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, Justin Muturi, Justin Bedan Muturi, went ahead to reveal to the people of the Republic of Kenya that his son was abducted by the National Intelligence Service, and after trials to have his sons released, only a call from the President of the Republic of Kenya made the NIS to release his son. But now, how is this situation unfolding? The situation is unfolding and bringing another bigger picture of what the Kenya Kwanza government really thinks and how it functions right now. Now, to start with, I will start with a certain reply today morning, which was drafted by one member of parliament from Kapseret, Oscar Sudi. From Oscar Sudi, we shall proceed to other comments that have been made in regards to this, and we shall conclude with a message that has been delivered this evening about an hour ago by one Dennis Itumbi, who is the head of the digital economy in the Republic of Kenya. Now, these are all associate of President William Ruto, replying to one of their own, a man that has served under Ruto since he was elected as the President of the Republic of Kenya, served for the first time as the Attorney General, the first Attorney General in Ruto's government. From the Attorney General, after the disbursement, or I mean, after the government was quashed, the guy was given a role to play as the public service cabinet secretary, which was a docket that was previously held by Honorable Moses Kuria, who is the current advisor to the president. Now, let's get down to details so that you will understand the point in which we are all speaking right now as a country and as people looking at what is unfolding inside the Kenya Kwanza government. Now, today morning, one Honorable Oscar Sudi, a very close ally and a confidant to President William Ruto, replied direct to Justin Muturi. This is after a publication by the Daily Nation today on Wednesday, where they published Muturi spills the bees, and Oscar Sudi had this to tell Muturi. This desperate move, made now that your political career has warned, is a clear blackmail attempt. The timing is highly suspicious, revealing a coward man clutching at straws for political advantage. In regards to your son's horse, who is my age mate, kwani alishikwa bure. Furthermore, there are many ambus professionals who can serve the country with zeal. You can ship out. Now listen to that kind of statement coming from a member of parliament who recently told us, if given the opportunity to serve as the cabinet secretary of interior, then everybody that has been speaking against the president would disappear or would be abducted. And a lot of Kenyans have come out calling Oscar Sudi for the entitlement in his statements since President William Ruto took over office as the President of the Republic of Kenya. Now, what is Oscar Sudi telling us? Yes, we might all, and I say as a republic, criticize the National Intelligence Service, but you do not forget the good that has come out of that institution. I remind you that it's an institution that we have all pointed fingers at. But this institution called the National Intelligence Service The number of terror attacks it has thwarted in this republic. If you all knew, then I bet you would all be clapping and singing glories to them. But one question though, why? Why the son of the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya? The said Lesil Muturi does not have a social media account, nor is he a public figure. He is just a citizen that lives under the radar. So why capture him during the Gen Z demos? What does Justin Muturi have against the government as an attorney general then that led to his son being taken into custody? That is the question. Yes, Oscar Sudi might be making insensitive remarks, and he might be talking gibberish. Allow me to say that without fear of contradiction. He might speaking gibberish. But the question still lingers. You know, the youth that we knew that were being taken into custody or were being abducted by the National Intelligence Service, most of them had footprints on social media, and most of them were hearing their dysfunction with Ruto's regime and the finance bill year 2024. Why, Muturi's son? Should I remind you that when the president addressed the country on 25th of June 2024, when the Gen Z broke into the government, into parliament, into the Supreme Court, and into the office of the governor of Nairobi County at Social Hall, President William Ruto was he and he alone. Behind him was his head, nobody else. Where was the deputy president? Where was the attorney general? Where was the cabinet secretary of interior? Where was the cabinet secretary of defense? Where was the CDF, the chief of defense forces? It's a big game. You know, we can all say the revelation that Muturi has published, it's more than what meets the eye, according to the analytical understanding of what we have. Now, apart from this statement by one Oscar Sudi, some other individuals in Kenya Kwanza government have all purported that Muturi is meant to be publicized or announced as the presidential candidate of Gashagua's team and the Mount Kenya region presidential candidate come March of this year 2025. Remember, Muturi runs the DP party, which is the Democratic Party of Kenya. This party was Kibaki's party. Could Muturi be on a political move in whatever his allegations are coming to be revealed right now? Remember, it's 6 months. No, it's not even 6 months. It's about 7 months since his son was kidnapped and released. Now, finishing with these allegations and the Oscar Sudi gibberish type of comment, allow me to take you into a statement that has been published by one Dennis Itumbi, former strategist and the current man that owns the office of the digital economy in the Republic of Kenya, a close confidant of President William Ruto. I mean, he's a man that works in the State House. He has been working on trying to make Ruto the angel that they want him to be to the people of the Republic of Kenya. Now, this is what Dennis Itumbi has published in regards to Muturi's statement and the expose that came with all these. Dennis Itumbi, listen to him. He tells us this. The truth is, It's incredibly hard to love the National Intelligence Service, NIS. Criticizing them is easy, especially when your aim is the president or the government of Kenya, and you are afraid to do it directly. Let me do a thread niongee initoke. Now, take that into consideration. Criticizing them is easy, especially when your aim is the president or the government of Kenya, which means Muturi was criticizing the president directly and the government at large. But let me ask, what is Muturi's play? Remembering that he serves in the cabinet of this same president that he has accused of being in play of his son's kidnapping. Now, we go on. Number two, he says, NIS is always an easy target, silent, vigilant, and without a voice to defend themselves. Should they be criticized? Absolutely. Every institution must be held accountable. Number three, he says, I had the rare privilege of attending the intensive training at the National Intelligence Service headquarters alongside CSs and PSs when they were first appointed. What I experienced was eye-opening and left a lasting impact. I had my doubts in the beginning. Number four, these sessions were hosted by former DP Rigathi Gachagua, who praised National Intelligence Service or NIS in flowery language. And quoting him, he says, in NIS, systems cannot fail. If you want to lead without mistakes and with light, you are in the right place, he told us. Number five, the NIS officers' presentations were well researched, practical, and deeply patriotic. They emphasized the sanctity of data integrity, the honor of government service, and the critical importance of national security. Number six, the training happened before Nordin Hajji took over. I was lucky to attend similar training under his helm. I was keen to spot if there would be a key difference under him. I noted an additional emphasis in approach, dialogue with those who oppose and hold different ideas. Number seven, opposing views were seen as potential solutions, and there was extra emphasis that holders of office should reach out to those opposed to our ideas and spot where value was added, reinforcing the belief that Kenya belongs to us all. Every voice matters. Number eight, but what specifically caught my eye were the examples of NIS in action, examples on video and in vivid narration, stuff that I could relate to. In some instances, even events that I could place myself right there, unaware of the danger that I was facing. Bold, shocking. Number nine, it says, I wish I could tweet some of that stuff, especially two specific ones touching on Easter 2015 and a more recent event in 2022. My heart wants to tell, but my pen signed an oath to take that story to the grave. NIS has ears to listen, eyes to watch, but no voice to tell. Number 10. My doubt was dealt functional blows at every presentation. I imagined with profound respect for the dedication of NIS officers. Their commitment and patriotism to duty flows as naturally as the blood in our veins, unwavering and unshaken. Number 11. That is why I tweet. Having been abducted myself in the past and having faced death literally, I know the pain of abduction and enforced disappearance, and our family can be drawn into confusion and pain. But I refuse to join the chorus to tear into pieces NIS. Why? I will come to the why. I choose to stand apart and decline the invite to join the choir of condemnation. But first, should we stay silent on abductions? Absolutely not. Speak up, demand thorough investigation, and that the head culprits must be held accountable. My point is not a conspiracy of silence, but as we raise our voices, let us uphold our institutions. We cannot bury their excellence in our critique. That is the statement that was delivered by one man, Dennis Itumbi. Now tell me, when it comes to the National Intelligence Service, we don't argue with them, we don't fight them. This is one of the most critical institutions that we have that safeguards the integrity of this country. But where does the mistake come in? I have been a lover of intelligence, a researcher of intelligence, a man that takes intelligence and gets to verify it, gets to watch and also learn from the intelligence that we receive and gather. As journalists, we are also investigators. But one thing with the National Intelligence Service, the people that hold the high offices in those institutions, including the director, their problem is one: they did not serve in any military capacity, nor did they serve as police officers, nor Directorate of Criminal Investigation officers, nor were they serving under any National Police Service agency. Director Nordin Hajji was picked from the Office of Director of Public Prosecution under Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, instilled as the Director General of the National Intelligence Service. Now, being a man that has undergone paramilitary training, one should realize that there are some times that integrity comes before orders. Because for the NIS, it seems they take orders so seriously and they fail to understand the integrity of a human being. Because you, as a human being, first, you have to think for yourself. Why is the reason we are taking this man into custody? You know, the National Intelligence Service officers, one being in their trade, they are taught to identify everybody as a potential threat. If they are taught to identify everybody as a potential threat, now their main goal is to verify now who is really a threat and who is not a threat to the Republic. The money that has been pumped into the National Intelligence Service since President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta took over is the reason why our country has not faced the ordeals that we were facing before. Remember the Westgate Mall attack, the Dusit attack, the whatever attacks, the attacks in Mombasa, in Lamu, they were thwarted. We have remained a peaceful nation and a peaceful country. But should I remind you that not that our enemies have been quiet. The enemies of our republic have been planning every day on how to take down our republic. But due to the integrity of these officers, of the national intelligence officers, by gathering intelligence early, analyzing it, and then getting to thwart those threats before they actually come to pass, that is what has kept us afloat as a nation. So when Itumbi says that the National Intelligence Service, yes, they work, they do things that we all do not appreciate. But when you learn about them, you will appreciate them. Now the question is this attack by Justin Muturi and all the allies involving Gachagua really an integrity question, or is it a politically motivated question? Was the son of the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya in the year 2024, on 22nd of June 2024, kidnapped, or let me say taken into custody by the National Intelligence Service officers for being a threat to the national security of this republic? What crime did that man commit? If you answer those questions, then you will stop criticizing that institution called National Intelligence Service. Yes, I am not a fan of them, but I am a fan of the work that they do. I am a journalist. I am allowed a certain percentage of critique and a certain percentage of concurring. Ain't going to be biased in this. Yo, if you knew what these people have dealt with in the name of this republic that we fight day in, day out, protesting in the street, so that we can have a very straightforward nation, then you would appreciate that institution. But one thing, why is that institution failing in some aspect and prospect? It's because the leaders there do not hold the high capacity of integrity. They just follow orders. They are used against their citizens while they are supposed to be protecting these citizens against the outside threats. Even the military intelligence, sometimes they work in conjunction with the National Intelligence Service. And that is why the military, most of the time, you cannot see Kenyans trolling the military. Look at, for example, on 25th of June, when the country was in shambles. The military was sent into our streets. But our brothers and sisters, due to the integrity they have for this great republic and to their sisters and brothers in the streets of Nairobi and every part of this country, they refused to engage in any confrontation. Their work was to watch. What do you have to say? Now tell me, what do you understand? Do you think Muturi, as what has been rumored, is it true that he aims at being a presidential candidate in the near future against President William Ruto? For now, I leave it there. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news and more updates. This is the KDR TV or the Kenya Daily Report TV. Subscribe.